There's a guy who parks his 2011 Honda Civic in the same lot every morning. Faded paint, small dent on the rear bumper, nothing special. His coworkers assume he's struggling, maybe living paycheck to paycheck, perhaps one emergency away from real trouble. What they don't know is that he has $4.2 million in index funds. His house is paid off. His kids' college funds are fully funded. He could walk out that door tomorrow and never come back if he wanted. He chooses the Civic on purpose. According to research from the millionaire next door, the median price millionaires pay for their cars is just $31,367. An Experian automotive study found that 61% of people earning over $250,000 drive Hondas, Toyotas, or Fords, not BMWs, not Mercedes. Regular cars that blend into any parking lot in America. Meanwhile, 8% of people earning under $100,000 own luxury vehicles. They're spending $60,000 on cars while making $50,000 a year. One group looks wealthy, the other group actually is wealthy. These are rarely the same people. I grew up watching my dad run a hardware store in Oklahoma. He knew every nail, every bolt, every price. And the one thing he taught me early on was this: the folks who came in bragging about their new truck were usually the ones who couldn't make rent. This video isn't about being cheap, it's about understanding something that most people never figure out. Looking poor might be the most important financial strategy you ever adopt. The research on this is overwhelming. The people who actually build wealth behave nothing like the people who appear wealthy. Thomas Stanley and William Denko spent decades studying millionaires across America. Their findings shattered every assumption about what wealthy people look like. 80% of millionaires are first-generation affluent. They didn't inherit their money. They built it themselves. Half of them have lived in the same house for more than 20 years. They're more likely to drive a Ford than a Bentley. The authors found that millionaires were disproportionately clustered in middle-class and blue-collar neighborhoods, not affluent communities. This surprised even the researchers who expected the opposite. The explanation is simple. High-income white-collar professionals tend to devote their income to luxury goods and status items. They're playing a visibility game. They want everyone to know they've made it. Actual wealth builders play a different game entirely. And here's what nobody tells you at the dinner table. Every dollar spent on appearance is a dollar that can't compound over 30 years. That's not just money you're spending. That's future freedom you're burning. Dave Ramsey's research on millionaire behavior confirms the pattern. The top 10 car brands driven by millionaires start with Toyota at number 1. Honda sits at number 2. Ford comes third. BMW doesn't appear until number 6. Mercedes doesn't crack the list at all. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord for years. Mark Zuckerberg was spotted in an Acura TSX. Larry Page, co-founder of Google, drove a Toyota Prius. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. These aren't people who can't afford better. They're people who've decided that looking wealthy isn't worth the cost of actually being wealthy. The psychology behind this choice reveals something important about how wealth actually works. Sociologist Thorstein Veblen introduced the concept of conspicuous consumption over a century ago. His central observation was that people don't just buy products for utility. They buy signals. Luxury brands aren't selling materials, they're selling narrative. A $50,000 watch tells time exactly as well as a $50 watch. The extra $49,950 buys something else entirely: the ability to signal status to others. Research shows that people who view money as a symbol of power and success report lower levels of financial satisfaction. They buy expensive things to impress others and demonstrate value, often without monitoring or planning their overall spending. And here's the brutal part. The pursuit of appearing wealthy creates the exact conditions that prevent actual wealth. Every leased BMW is a monthly payment that could have been quietly compounding in an index fund for the next 25 years. Every designer handbag represents shares of index funds that weren't purchased. Every status symbol has an opportunity cost measured in decades of compound growth. Think about that. Not months, decades. This is the stuff that lets some people retire at 47 while others are still grinding at 67 wondering where it all went. A 2025 Empower study found that 62% of everyday millionaires still budget, shop deals, and avoid extravagant lifestyles even after crossing the $1 million threshold. The habits that built wealth are the same habits that preserve it. According to Javelin Research, cybercriminals stole the identities of 6.4% of the general public. That number jumped to 8.1% for high net worth individuals. Affluent Americans are 43% more likely to experience identity theft. High net worth individuals face whaling attacks. Meticulously crafted operations using profiles assembled from social media and data breaches. The Federal Trade Commission reported that Americans lost $10.3 billion to fraud in 2023. Investment fraud alone accounted for $4.6 billion, with schemes specifically targeting affluent individuals. Looking wealthy advertises exactly what you have. Looking poor protects it. The person driving the old Honda maintains access to a wider range of social connections. Nobody treats them differently because of perceived wealth. Nobody expects them to pay more than their share. This social invisibility provides something money literally cannot buy: authenticity in relationships. Let me say this plainly. A $50,000 a year janitor can be more of a wealth builder than a $700,000 a year doctor. Income doesn't determine this. Behavior does. The formula is simple. Multiply your age by your pre-tax annual household income, then divide by 10. A 40-year-old earning $150,000 should have approximately $600,000 in net worth. Those below this threshold are spending their income rather than building wealth. They understand compound interest intellectually. They just don't practice it behaviorally. And that gap between knowing and doing is exactly where early retirement gets stolen from people. Here's the math, plain and simple. The difference between a $30,000 car and an $80,000 car invested over 25 years at 7% annual returns becomes roughly $270,000. That's not a small number. That's the difference between retiring at 55 or working until 68. That's the real price of looking wealthy. Someone who internalizes the rich people look rich narrative will spend their entire income maintaining appearances. They'll reach 55 with a closet full of luxury goods and a retirement account that can't sustain them. Meanwhile, the quiet one, the one everyone assumed was just getting by, is fishing in Montana because they don't have to be anywhere. Warren Buffett once noted that he never worried about being overcharged because nobody knew he was wealthy. That's a negotiating advantage most people give away for free every single day. Service providers and contractors calibrate their prices based on perceived ability to pay. Over a lifetime of purchases, this differential accumulates into significant money. The quietly wealthy employee maintains the appearance of needing the job while having the security of not needing it. They can take risks that desperate employees cannot. They can walk away when it matters. They can negotiate from strength while appearing to negotiate from need. Someone earning $200,000 annually who saves 25% grows to approximately $3.4 million over 25 years at 7% returns. Someone earning the same $200,000 who saves only 5% grows to approximately $680,000, 5 times the net worth. Same income, same years. The only difference is what they chose to show the world. The visible spender has memories of nice things. They have a wardrobe of luxury items. Both made choices. Only one made choices that compound. Success isn't what you can buy. Success is what you don't have to buy. Success isn't the things you own. Success is the freedom you've purchased with money you didn't spend. The people who notice the old Civic and feel superior are the same people who will work until they're 70 because they have no choice. The person driving it could stop working tomorrow. And if you're watching this and thinking, I'll start later, that's exactly what the person who can't retire is saying right now. The goal was never to impress people you don't know. The goal was always freedom. Every millionaire who drives a Toyota understood something that most people never figure out. Wealth isn't about what you show, it's about what you keep. This is Roger, and thanks for watching. Same time at next week. See you soon, folks.